Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'd like to welcome you to the Alex Bloodfire stream here on YouTube. Wow, the weather is so hot outside. It's exhaustingly hot. Fantastic, though. It's really good weather. I'm really enjoying it, and at the same time, it's quite exhausting. So, well, here we are for another show of Let's Talk Gender Ideology, and today we've got a book giveaway. So I'm going to give you details in a second of how you can actually get a copy of my book, Brock Steele Sphere. I just wanted to say that it's been a really good week for gender on the gender critical side of things. We've had a lot of press about women's sports. It's very good news. The tide is starting to turn. Adult human females are starting to get their sports back, and biologically born males are being kicked out of female sports. But there's a long way to go, so we can't get complacent. There is a long fight to actually go, so we've got to go on. So first, I would like to offer you a chance to grab a free copy of my book, Brock Steele Sphere, by me, Alex Bloodfire. I wrote it. So in order to grab a copy, and I'm going to tell you what it's about in a minute. It's a bit of a spy adventure novel. It's a spy adventure novel. It's not a bit of a spy adventure novel. It is a spy adventure novel. And all you need to do is simply email me your name and address to the email below. That's going to be there until Saturday, the 25th of June, where it will then be removed. And then I will pick 5 names out the hat and send it on. I don't do anything with the data. So after this competition, I'm not collecting data or anything. After this competition is ended, I will simply destroy the data and delete the email and delete that email account as well. So that email account won't be available after Saturday, midnight of Saturday, the 25th of June, midnight. I shall just delete it. So send me your name and address, and I will. And then on Saturday midnight, I will pick a name out of the hat, 5 names, and then I will mail them. I will mail them anywhere in the world. So it doesn't matter whereabouts in the 4 corners of the world you live. If I pick your name out and I will mail it to you. So that's fine. If you don't want to mail your address straight away, you can just mail your name and say, look, I'd be interested in entering the competition. And then I can email you back whether you've won or not. It's can't say fairer than that, can we? So if that's what you want to do. But that's it. But this is a copy. It took me 5 years to write this. It was gave me a lot of pleasure writing this book. And I'd love people to read it. And if you could give me a review, a couple of sentences review of whatever site that you're on book-wise, that would be really, really appreciated as well. You don't have to, but it would help my book sales if you did provide me with an honest review. I'm not asking you what to write. You can write what you want, but that's it. So I'm going to let you know what the book is about. So as I say, it's a spy adventure, and I'll just read you about the back of the book, just so that you know a little bit of what it's about if you're interested in acquiring the book. So Brock Steele knows his name, and very little else. After a vicious attack in mysterious circumstances, Brock's memory has abandoned him. He has no idea why he's been hounded by a mysterious man with a gun, or why strange things keep happening to the people he loves, and why are strange voices talking to him from the walls of his flat. When he's forced to go on the run to save his life, he has to decide who to trust. And making a mistake could be fatal. Can Brock find out who he is, why he's been hunted, and stay alive in the bargain? Yeah, so that's what it's about. I loved writing the book. It took me, as I say, 5 years to write. I put my heart in it, and I'd love people out there to read it. It is on offer at the moment on Amazon. If people don't want to go into the competition, I think it's £6.90 or something. It's normally £9.99. It's knocking a couple of quid off. And the actual download on Kindle, and all the downloads, I think, if you buy it in the UK, it's £1.99. I think in the United States, it's $2.99. So any support is appreciative. As you know, I am being hounded by trans activists. I receive death threats. I receive harassment. And I'm going to tell you about a little deplatforming shortly. I've been kicked off a platform, a social media platform, for reasons I'll never know, and I doubt I'll ever, ever find out. But I'll talk about that in a minute. But any support is really appreciative. But I've got 5 copies to give away. So if you want a copy, email on the email below, and I'll draw 5 names out, and you could be walking away with a copy of Brock Steele Sphere. Right. Okay. Oh, that's yeah, there we go. Okay, so where are we now? So right, okay. So I'm going to continue today. Oh dear me, a little bit disorganized now. Everything was organized and it's all gone disorganized. So just give me 1 second. Right. So yeah. So as I say, your kind support is always appreciated. So that's the book out the way. Okay, so it's been a very, very busy week. As I've just said, I've been deplatformed from a Mastodon instance, which most people have probably never heard of that social media platform. It's on the mstdn.io. I'd been on there for about 2 or 3 years. I normally do sharing just mainstream articles, putting it on there. And unfortunately, I came to it on Sunday after I had posted the video of Posey Parker and standing for women in Bristol, the Bristol event. And I was about to post another article on, and I'd been informed that I'd been suspended. Now, I don't know why I've been suspended. I've had no communication. I've made an appeal, so I'm waiting for that appeal. But I think considering that I actually cross post on quite a lot of platforms, including LinkedIn, Facebook, many platforms. I'm a little bit surprised that I'm actually deplatformed on what I thought Mastodon was a freedom of speech site, but apparently no more. So apparently. I mean, somebody did mention to me, a few people have contacted me with regard to my suspension, and they've said that they're appalled about it as much as I am. And they're also going to be looking for a Mastodon instance, which is what you call them. Because Mastodon is like, it's on the Fediverse, and it's like you've got all different social networks that are connected to each other. Although they're independent, they're also connected to each other as well. And they also said that, if Mastodon, the mstdn.io platform are going to do that, they're going to move on too. But I mean, this guy's also asking for financial support to support his server. If you're going to ban people like me, you won't be getting any support from me. And I don't recommend that, other people support a guy, because he could do that to your account too. 1 minute you're on the social media, the next minute you're deleted. But I'm waiting as to why maybe it could. I mean, it could be a mistake. There could be many reasons why I've been switched off, why I've been deplatformed. I am waiting for that, but I've definitely been deplatformed because it's been suspended. So I'm waiting for the appeal. I'm not holding my hopes up, to be honest, and I think to be honest, I'll probably get sacked. Probably get removed from a few more social media platforms before I've done. So that's why I am on quite a lot of social media platforms. So if you do want to, one of the main platforms that I'm on is Gettr. If you want to meet up, not meet up, if you want to chat on Gettr, okay, or meet me on Gettr or whatever, I'm on Gettr. I'm Alex Bloodfire on Gettr. Why not bring the conversation of gender critical to Gettr? Because we've got hundreds, if not thousands, of women and guys and everybody on there talking about gender ideology, talking about how appalled they are of how gender ideology is plaguing society. Please, join me on Gettr, and we can hook up on there have a chat, and you can keep in contact with me on there as well, because it's like I say, you know, you never know where you're going to be platformed. If you check on my website, that's alexbloodfire.com, I've got a load of sites that are listed. I put some more on this week to ensure that people can, if they want, to keep in touch, because as you know, I'm also at the moment I am locked out of Twitter pending appeal. I've been locked out of Twitter now for near enough exactly 6 months. We're probably talking a couple of days from 6 months, because I shared an article and it generated a photograph. And apparently that's the violation that they want me to accept. I haven't actually done anything wrong, because they changed the rules after that photograph, after I published that shared the article. So it's pretty appalling, but this is what social media are turning into. This is what happens when freedom of speech goes down the pan, when people stop trying, you know, start controlling our freedom of speech. They also control our medias. There's people losing bank accounts and credit card facility and credit facilities, not credit card facilities, their finance facilities or whatever. People are actually losing this, and this is all through the fact that we are eradicating freedom of speech. So once freedom of speech goes, I did have something I wanted to quote from who was he now? From 1984, George Orwell, but I haven't got it, and it it really would have explained what I was talking about, to be honest. Where, you know, if they're controlling freedom of speech, it's time to not it's time to panic. Okay, but that's what happens. You control freedom of speech, you've got a society on your back, you know what I mean, and you lose your bank accounts, you lose your, you know, for saying the wrong thing. And that's what's happening. Thousands of us are losing accounts simply for saying that a man is a man and a woman is a woman, and it can't be changed. You know, anything that, you know, is what they want, because, you know, that's that. But I'll shut up now because I'm losing it on that. So right. So I up to yet then on that platform, I've had no communications, so I don't again know why I've been banned. I'm very surprised. And I don't believe it's the way forward for that platform. Gettr is the fastest growing platform ever. And I think, okay, that mstdn.io, the Mastodon that has suspended me, ought to take that into consideration, because if you're going to keep suspending people like me, people are just going to go elsewhere. I mean, there's people, as I say, contacted me who have found me on other sites that are just meeting up there. So yeah, that's that right. So I just noticed that Amy's on. So hello Alex, and all, hope everything is well and all is good. Everything's fantastic. We've had a great week, Amy, haven't we, with regard to women's sports, with regard to the press. It's been absolutely a fantastic week. It's been brilliant. You know, the tide's starting to turn. As I say, we can't get too complacent. There's a big fight ahead, but women, that's adult human females, are starting to get their spaces back, and things are happening now. Do you know what I mean? Things are happening. So I've had a good weekend, and the sun's burning outside. I am very, very happy. I'm really happy this week. It's brilliant. So yeah. So let me go on to I'll move out of right. So going back on to me being, as I was just saying, I have been deplatformed on on a Mastodon instance, which is what they call them, which is a social media. You may have heard of it or not. What I'm saying out there today is that if anybody knows, if anybody has also been deplatformed, let me know in the comments. But also, if you know of an instance on the Fediverse, okay, let me know. Do you know what I mean? And I'd like to join. I'd like to join a platform that thinks that, you know, I'm worthy. Do you know what I mean? I'm quite upset and insulted, really, that that a platform can actually say that I'm not worthy to speak. I mean, I think that's disgraceful, and I think it's deeply concerning that, you know. But anyway, if you know of a Fediverse instance where, you know, I can join and people will welcome me for what I've got to say, then pop it in the comments. I'm always interested. So that's it. Right. So, let me see. Yep. Again, silencing isn't the way forward. There's more and more people fighting now for freedom of speech. There's more and more people, you know, we're wanting freedom of speech. So, I mean, basically, silencing people like me isn't the way forward. I'm not saying nasty things. I'm not saying horrible things. I'm saying the truth because I'm very, very concerned, what gender ideology, where gender ideology is going. And I've been an activist all my life. I've never had this problem before. I've never been silenced. I've never ever had this problem on any, I mean, I was an activist and I was on Twitter years ago, Facebook. I've never had this problem, but we've now got a problem because people want me to believe that biologically born males are women, and I won't believe that because it's not true. And if you think out there, well, actually, biologically born males are women. Well, can you please send me the proof? Because I do keep asking for the proof, and nobody's got it. You know what I mean? So biologically born males will always be males, regardless. Okay, and I'm telling the truth. I'm not causing any harm by doing that. I'm not saying anything by doing that. I'm not causing. I'm not spreading wrong information. I am telling the truth. Biologically born males can never be women, and that's it. That's all I'm saying. It's the truth. And I don't think that I should have to be deplatformed or lose facilities, lose account facilities or whatever, and be kicked off Twitter, pending an appeal, have my account locked just because I believe that, that's it. I think it's very, very concerning. Right. So, okay. So let me just say. So again, I'll go on to my book again. Actually, listen. If you want to enter the competition for the book, okay. Anyone out there wants to enter the competition for the book, what you need to do is just email me your name and address, and you've got up until midnight to basically send me your name and address, and then I will put it in a hat and pick 5 out and send 5 copies out. I will send it again anywhere in the world. Okay, so it doesn't matter whereabouts you are in the world. If you want a free copy of the book, okay, just email me. And if you don't want to email me your name and address straight away, just email me your name. Just say you're interested in entering the competition. If I pull you out there, I can say, yep, you've won. Give me your address, and I'll send it. And I'll send it anywhere in the world. So there's 5 copies up for grabs, and the competition ends at midnight on Saturday. So you've got until midnight on Saturday to enter on the email below. So the email's below. Okay. So moving forward, it's been a very, very busy week on the GC front. I've been pinged, I've been sent messages, the press, I've written so many articles this week. It's been a brilliant week. It really has. It's been a week that our GC community can be proud of, because it shows that our fighting, is starting to take effect. We're winning. We're winning. The tide is starting to turn. I mean, there's a long way to go. Like I've said, there's a long way to go to fight gender ideology, to move it out of schools, to get adult human females of sports back, to get Stonewall out of every single organisation in the United Kingdom. We've got to fight, but I'm very glad to know that the another one has dropped Stonewall. But we're going to go into that in a minute anyway. So that's that. So we've got so I'm going to talk about this event now that was organised by Standing for Women, which happened on was it Monday or Tuesday now? Sunday. It happened on Sunday. We've got cowards in balaclavas shouting down at women again. Okay. I'd just like to know who these people think they are, electing themselves to speak for the so-called communities in the LGBTQ alphabet soup. You are trying to speak on behalf of people who really don't want you to speak on behalf of them. I don't think there are many, I mean, I can't see that there are many gay, lesbian, bisexual, and even trans people themselves want you to go to Bristol and do what you're doing. You are humiliating those communities. Get off those communities. We don't want you to speak to us, speak on behalf of any community. You know, in fact, you're not speaking on behalf of the community. You stand for nothing. I mean, I've from where I'm sitting, I've never seen such patheticness in all my life. It's an embarrassment what you did in Bristol. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm appalled. I mean, you're representing nobody doing that, and nobody wants you. No community wants you to go to Bristol and do that. You have shown yourselves up for what you really are. You know, don't don't do it. Keep away from. You know, let women speak. You know, that's the stop silencing women. Nobody wants idiots like that speaking on behalf. And I think I think what these creatures have done in Bristol is absolutely appalling. I really do. Um, and I fully stand by women who have been silenced by these thugs. And I think Bristol Police should have done more. Really, I mean, the women were forced out of a pub. Um, I think that's absolutely appalling. I'm very shocked that Bristol Police allowed that to happen. That they had to escort the women out and say, "No, you can't drink in here," because men outside were shouting down at women. I think it's so wrong. I mean, come on, Bristol Police. You know what's going on here? You know, I wonder if these women had have actually been trans women, okay, being hounded out of a pub by men calling them all sorts of names. Would we have had a different response from Bristol Police? Well, let me know in the comments, because you know I'm pretty sure that if these women had have been trans women, I'm putting trans women in brackets, you know, and they were in the pub and they were being hounded, would Bristol Police have said, "Look, sorry, you can't drink in here, you know, lads, let's get out," you know, and that's it, because trans women are lads, you know? Um, well, I think we'd have had a totally different story. I really do. So, again, if you maybe people are coming in and out about the book. If you want to enter a competition of the book, please email me on the email below, and I just need your name and address, and then I will put it in a hat on Saturday at midnight, and I will send you a free copy of the book. If well, 5, I've got 5 copies to give away. I'll send 5 people a free copy of the book. That email will disappear after Saturday, so it's not a regular email. It's just an email solely for this competition. And basically, I don't store data of any kind. So, well, for this is solely for this competition. As soon as this competition is done, I destroy all data. I don't keep names and addresses or emails, and that email account will also, as I say, be deleted. So you've no word about that at all. So if you want a copy, just email me, and I'll stick it in a hat. And on Saturday at midnight, I'm going to put everything in this hat. Actually, I'll put it in this hat, and then we'll see who the 5 people are, and I will get those out. And I mail all over the world, so no matter where you are in the world, so whether you live in Australia, America, you know, Africa, Asia, I will email it everywhere. But the book is in English. Please bear that in mind. It is in English only. I haven't got it translated yet, so it is and it is also, if you don't want to enter the competition, it is available online. It's available at all good bookshops all over the world, I understand, in nearly every country. I'm not sure there's any countries that have banned my book yet, but I think it's available everywhere, and it's on discount at the moment on Amazon, and I think it's $299 for a download on Kindle. So, you know, give it a go, please. Any support is really appreciative. It took me 5 years to write it. Please help me out, please. So we've got again, women's sports have been very much in the press these days. I'm going to go through the Gettr account in a minute, like I normally do for the last half an hour. But I wanted to say that, and I am on Gettr. So if you want to hook up on Gettr with me, let's take the conversation over to Gettr. I mean, there's a lot of conversation on Twitter. I can't get access to Twitter at the moment. I'm really, really sure. Yeah, I just saw Amy's comment there. Please make sure you take the hat off first. I will. I'll make sure I take the hat off before I stick the things in the competition. Yeah, I definitely will. Yeah. So Yeah, again, I'm on Gettr. If you want to hook up on Gettr, please. I mean, I'm getting a lot of followers on Gettr now, so people are obviously taking note. I am speaking out about gender ideology. Please, show everybody. I think we've got a minority out there who think that they can speak on behalf of everybody else, and they really can't. It's just a minority that are screaming about gender ideology. Unfortunately, they have been listened to for far too long, and they have been allowed to shove it in schools, indoctrinate our kids. They have been allowed to wreck women's sports as it was, and there is now a big fight. So please show these people that we're not going to put up with gender ideology. Follow me on Gettr. Show them that I've got on Gettr now. I've got thousands of followers on other networks. Show people that we are not going to put up with this. So bring the conversation over to Gettr. There's hundreds, thousands of people talking about gender ideology on Gettr. We're having conversations. Let's chat on Gettr. Let's bring the conversation over to Gettr. Let's talk, and let's show Twitter that, they're not the only platform, and if you want to go banning people, if you want to go, locking my accounts like mine, just show them that we don't have to put up with that. We can go wherever we want. And there are hundreds of platforms now. I think I'm on about 200 different social media platforms of all different types. So, Twitter is no longer the choice. And I think Twitter, which is a toxic platform, is going down. And I think I think eventually Twitter will be, will be a thing of the past the way they're going on, trying to ruin our freedom of speech, trying to control what we say. We don't want that. Nobody wants to have no freedom of speech left. So let's go on other platforms and show Twitter that we are strong, that we are not going to put up with your crap. Okie dokie. Right, so so we've got brief news of women's sports. So the league have banned trans-identified males from sports, and we've also got the swimming, which were FINA, that banned trans-identified males at first, which are trans women in brackets. They haven't, however, stopped boys who transition before puberty. So we've still got a fight on that. I don't think it's right that any biologically born male should be allowed in women's sports. And a lot of people on Gettr I'm speaking to feel the same. So we've still got a fight. It's not the be all and end all, but this is great news. It's fantastic news that women are finally getting the sports back. But we've got a long way to go. But this is a start, and this is a real kick in the teeth for trans activists. Which is brilliant. As I say, it's been a great week. The sun's out. It's fantastic. I'm looking forward to more and more good news about gender ideology and its downfall. Some really, really good news I've had in. As you say, I really hate Stonewall. I'm not, if you don't already know, I absolutely hate Stonewall. I am not a Stonewall fan. And I look forward to the day when Stonewall are brought down. What they have done to the LGBT community and even trans community is an utter disgrace. What they're doing to women is a disgrace. What they're doing to children is a disgrace. I hate Stonewall, and I'm very confused why any organization is still in Stonewall. I really am. But thankfully, the Department of Work and Pensions have dropped controversial Stonewall, so that's really good. I'm very happy about that. Governments and organizations really need to stop forcing Stonewall's ideology on their staff, because they're no longer the future. They no longer represent the people that they're saying they're representing. A lot of gay, lesbian, and people are walking away from Stonewall. Even trans people are walking away from Stonewall. So why would your organization be supporting controversial Stonewall when all its members, when everybody that it claims to represent, are starting to walk away? Why would it represent? So I think you need to start thinking, if you're on the board of directors, you've got authority in government departments to drop Stonewall, you need to start thinking about dropping Stonewall. Stonewall's going to go eventually. You're wasting your money. It's not going to be around forever. I mean, Stonewall, I predict okay, that Stonewall in years to come will not be around. It will either be a small, very, very small trans organization, or it will have gone. I don't think they'll survive the reputational damage, and they're losing financially quite a lot because more and more organizations are simply dropping them. You know, the truth is we don't know who's dropped them. We don't know the exact numbers that have dropped them, you know, in the last few years because they keep it a secret. You know, organizations drop Stonewall. Stonewall are not going to tell people, and organizations, they don't want the attention. So there could be a lot more organizations out there that have dropped Stonewall than we know of whatever. But it is time that organizations dropped controversial Stonewall. Let's get rid of Stonewall. You know, it's not representing the people that it claims to do anymore. Right. Okay, so I'm going to move over now to my Gettr account, and I'm going to go through what my Gettr account is. So I hope that, right, let's have a look. Right, so I'm moving on to my Gettr account, and I'm going to run through what I've been putting on Gettr over the last few days since Saturday. Again, if you want to keep in contact with what I'm putting up on Gettr, please follow me. I've had a lot of followers over the last few weeks that are following me on Gettr. They are supporting me, and they are showing to trans activists that you know, we're not listening to you anymore. So you know, that's what we need. And trans activists are being less and less listened to. They're losing a battle, and you know, that's it. So I came across an article which says every joke has a victim. That was Mr. Bean star Rowan Atkinson had slammed cancel culture, and he was on about that, you know, comedians are just being pulled to pieces, you know, because basically their jokes are offending people. Well, you know, that's unfortunately, you know, that's what it is, and that's why we need to bring freedom of speech back. We need to, you know, let people know that, look, jokes are joke. Do you know what I mean? Comedians are stood up there, you know, making jokes. That's it. You know, I mean, in my era, people could say what they wanted. I want to see that era back. I don't want an era where we're not allowed to be we're not actually allowed to say anything. I saw an article. I didn't put it on here on my Gettr account, but I saw an article that somebody said that, you know, Ireland are going down the freedom of speech line. I'm wrecking it. You know what I mean? That they're starting to say to make it so that people can say less and less. It's not a good line to go down. And you know, if we lose freedom of speech, we're not just losing freedom of speech. You know, we're losing. You know, if you say this, you could lose your bank account, you could lose your credit facilities, and this is what's happening now in the United Kingdom and America. You know, if you said the wrong thing, everybody's becoming political. Everybody's coming on freedom of speech. You say the wrong thing, you're deplatformed, you're losing your accounts. You know, this really is what's happening. And this is what happens when you take freedom of speech away. And it's such a shame. And I really hope that we can bringing freedom of speech back in that, you know, as it was when I was a boy, because what I'm seeing now is terrible, really. But okay, so I got an article that I linked, which was the assault on children's psychs. It was California Ethnic Studies curriculum is fueling mental health crisis among teenagers. It was quite a harsh article to actually read, in the fact that it was saying that, you know, all this crap and critical race theory, gender ideology has been pushed onto people, and it's causing our teenagers and children, but particularly teenagers, to have we're having a mental health crisis. You know, and that's exactly the reason, because they're being told lies. There was a girl that was talking that, or in there, who they were writing about, who was ashamed to be white. You know, and I think it's you know, it's and there was somebody else that was he was claiming he was heterosexual. Do you know what I mean? Well, he was heterosexual. Everyone else was claiming to be bisexual, and it's just that, actually, that was a different article. But you know, the fact is that, you know, these critical race and this gender ideology is really damaging our children. We need to move it out of schools very quickly, because if we don't move it out of schools, it will get worse. It will get much worse. So we need to do a lot of campaigning. We need to do a lot of fighting to get this shit out of our schools. Um, the Sharon Davis, she said that the trans debate is toxic. Yeah, it is. It's made her life hell, and but female athletes must speak up. And that was you know, that basically she's encouraging female athletes to talk out, speak up, and say, look, no, we don't want biologically born men in women's sports. So well done to Sharon Davis. I'm quite a fan of Sharon Davis now. She's really worked hard in gender ideology, in highlighting gender ideology, but she's really working hard in women's rights, is what I meant to say. She's a credit to women, really. So well done to Sharon Davis. Another article with Nicola Sturgeon's Woman Problem. I read that. That was you know, she's banging on about trying to force all these things in, which are not in the interests of her own, not in the interests of the Scottish. It's not in the interest of the English, because we don't want this coming over the border. It's not in the interests of anybody what she's doing. They're really forcing a strange Scottish gender ideology on their people, and you know, if it's not changed, then Scotland are going to have problems in the future. And we all know that. And next one on my Gettr account was that the rugby league is banning trans athletes, I mentioned earlier, and other sports follow bombshell as other sports follow the bombshell FINA's decision. It could mean that a lot more sports, which we are hoping, are just going to kick biologically born males out of women's sports. Fantastic. It's been a very good week. I'm really happy. I'm really happy that everything that everybody's doing out there, everything all on the GC brigade, we are going to win. And I'm really happy about that. So fantastic, fantastic week. Men gate crashing female sports should never have been allowed in the first place. I don't know why it was allowed. I don't know why we think that it's okay for men to gate crash women's sports, be given a platform to cheat, whether they're cheating or not. The fact is they've been given a platform to cheat, and they're stealing medals. They don't belong to them. So that's it. And just another reminder, if you've just joined me on my book, if you want a free copy of my book, I'm doing a competition. I'm running it until Saturday. All you need to do is email me your details where you want the book sent, and I will I'll put all the entries in this hat, and at midnight on Saturday I'll pull 5 entries out, and you'll each get a copy. And like I say, I'll email it anywhere in the world, so it doesn't matter where you live in the 4 corners of the earth. I will email it. I'll send it. I will post it. Yeah, it's paperbacks only that are on offer. If you want to download, if you read download, they are quite cheap at the moment. You'll have to. I'm afraid you'll have to buy that, because I can't actually send those. I can't email those out. So you'd have to buy them yourself. But they are cheap. It's only It's $1.99 actually on Amazon for Kindle to get Brock Steele Sphere, and it's a decent book. So you know, I wrote it, so it's all right. Okay. And any reviews would be greatly appreciated. I'm really down on reviews at the moment. It is affecting sales. So if you want to write a review, even if it's a couple of sentences, whatever you think of the book, please write me a review. It'd be appreciated on, you know, whatever site that you're on. It would just help. So my next Gettr was from about Sebastian Coe. He's backing FINA's ruling. I'm very confused why anybody wouldn't back FINA's ruling. I mean, FINA have said, look, let's get biologically born males who've gone through puberty, male puberty, they're banned. Yeah, I mean, you know, why would anybody disagree with this? I don't know why people would think it's right that men should be in women's sports, female sports. You know, when you're dealing with female-only sports, I just don't know why people think this is right. I'm so confused why anybody out there would think it's right for a man to be in women's sports and stealing their medal. And whether they're stealing it or whether they've been given a platform to steal it, we can argue about that. The fact is, it's wrong. You know, it's wrong. It's completely wrong. And I don't know why people are agreeing. So congratulations anyway to Sebastian Coe. And thank you, Sebastian, for you know, speaking out and what what I wanted to say next was that trans athletes could be banned from track and field next, if Sebastian Coe is going to push that. So I think it was to do with Sebastian Coe, yeah. So he's a world athletics. So track and field, you know, he's the one. He's the one who's got the power to stop it, or at least part of it anyway. So that would be good if we could ban them from track and field as well. So we can ban men, you know, who've been through puberty, male puberty, will be banned from that. I mean, I think all biological males should be banned from female-only sports, and I'll fight. You know, on until we do. I don't understand why any boy has got to be in a male. I don't see why boys, any boys or men should be in female-only sports. Right. So, and then we've got Nadine Dorries. She's also backing the ban on the trans swimmers from FINA. Sorry, she's backing the ban. On trans swimmers from women's races, and say all sports should follow suit. She's absolutely correct. I don't know why anybody is supporting men in women's sports. What is wrong with people out there? You know, they're bound to win. They're bound to steal the medal. Why? Why would anybody do that? I don't get it at all. I really don't. But again, Nadine Dorries has backed the ban on trans swimmers. That's trans-identified male swimmers out of women's sports. Thank you, Nadine Dorries. It means a lot to a lot of people. She's certainly supporting women's rights, and what a great woman, a fantastic woman Nadine Dorries is, for that. Brilliant. Absolutely great. The next one, my Gettr, and if me on Gettr, I'm Alex Bloodfire on Gettr. Join me on Gettr. Let's start the conversation on Gettr. Let's get on Gettr. Let's make Gettr the public square. Okay, let's make Gettr the public square. So now, next Gettr was about a Stonewall official has called J.K. Rowling's friend, that the lawyer Alison Bailey, a turfy barrister. So that's a Stonewall official has called lawyer Alison Bailey a turfy barrister, simply because Alison Bailey criticised trans policies, and that's what's come out in court. I think that was yesterday. You know, I also think that Stonewall's trans policies are a national disgrace, and I do believe, and I predict, and I think I'm right, that Stonewall will disintegrate. Stonewall will finish. You know, they're going to collapse through what they've done, because it's nonsense. It really is. And I am disgusted that an organization like Stonewall have turned into the heap of crap that they've turned into. And I would be really pleased to see the back of Stonewall. I think that we should all celebrate when Stonewall have collapsed, because I think they will. I don't think Stonewall are going to be around much longer. Not for what they've done. I don't think they'll survive the reputational damage. And plus, all the people are walking away. See, lesbians, gays, and bisexuals, they're all walking away from Stonewall. They're the people they claim to represent. And there are even trans people are saying, no, we don't want Stonewall anymore. So, you know, when they're out there, when they're in your organization, you know, giving out the diversity program, you know, you must do this and you must do this. And it's all gender ideology crap. And nobody, you know, we've got the lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and even trans people walking away from them. Do you not think it's time to drop Stonewall? Because it is. It really is time now to drop Stonewall. Okay, so my next Gettr is the fight back for women's sports starts here. That's the swimming's. This is again another one about FINA. So it's a swimming governing body, FINA, which stands for the Fédération Internationale de National. I think I pronounced that wrong. I do apologize. I'm not French. I think that's French, isn't it? So I do apologize. But they've taken a brave stand against trans ideology, and they have said, you know, we don't want biological men in women's sports. I think that's fair enough. That. And then I picked up another one which says that now swimming has been banned. Now that swimming has banned trans women, okay, from sports, because these are, you know, biologically born men. Will surfing also do the same? That came from an article in an Australian magazine. They're interested to get men out of surfing, women's surfing. I mean, men do their own surfing. You know, if you're a biological man, you can go the men's surfing. Just get out of female only surfing. It's spoiling. You're spoiling sports. Trans women are spoiling sports. Need to stop it. That's it. They're spoiling sports. And just another, I'll just give you another reminder about my book. If you just joined us, I am giving out 5 copies book competition. So if you want to enter the competition, you go to the email below. Let me know your name and where you want it sent. So your name and address. On Saturday at midnight, I'll be taking this sat off, putting all the entries in here and picking 5 out. And we've got 5 copies here, and I will be sending them to the winners. And I'll send it to anywhere in the world. So if whether you live in Australia or America or Africa, anywhere in the world, I will send you a copy. It is only in English, so please bear that in mind. And but I will mail it anywhere. So just email me your name and address. I'll stick it in my hat, pick out 5 winners, and then that'll do that. So there we go. So I'm going to go back onto Gettr now. And if you want to join me on Gettr, I'm Alex Bloodfire. Just, bring the conversation over to Gettr, like me, subscribe, whatever you do on Gettr, and let's get Gettr a platform. Let's get Gettr to be the public, the public square. We can't speak on Twitter anymore without getting banned, without getting the account locked. Let's bring the public square to Gettr. Let's talk about gender ideology on Gettr. Let's start chatting. Let's start making it big. And there was already hundreds of women, thousands of women and men actually talking about gender ideology on Gettr as well as various other things. Let's get it done. You know what I mean? Let's come over to Gettr. Join me, like me. It's like I say, I'm Alex Bloodfire. Just sorry, I've got to knock that down. Okay, yes, so do that. Let's bring the conversation to Gettr. Gettr is the fastest growing platform. I think it's a fantastic platform. I think it's a great social media platform. There's so much going to happen with Gettr in the future. I think Twitter's going to go by the wayside. I don't know whether Twitter is going to be bought or not by I don't know whether the guy that's going to buy Twitter is going to make a difference. I don't think he will. The damage is already done. I think Twitter have banned too many people off. I think they've blocked too many people. I think they've upset too many people. So, look, let's get all the conversation over to Gettr. Get back on Gettr, or get on Gettr, and let's bring the conversation. Let's make Gettr the public square. Okay, so the next one, which I was I really quite liked, actually. It's from Baroness Nicholson, and she says, for grown men to pretend they don't know what a woman is when they have a wife and kid, who are they fooling? But it's even worse when it's a woman, because that's a shocking betrayal of one's own sex. That's what she said in it's right. I mean, it's bad enough that men dare to pretend that they don't know what a woman is. It's appalling, actually. But for women to do this, they are betraying their own sex, and to allow, I'm just going to get a little bit of drink because my throat's they're betraying their own sex. That we've got female athletes out there that are working so hard. Do you know what I mean? To try to win a medal, to try to better themselves, to try and do the sports, and yet you've got a male there that just walks away with the medal, and it's not acceptable. It's really not acceptable. And this is all this is happening everywhere. Do you know what I mean? It's starting to, in all walks of life. Biological men are really walking all over women now, and really women need to stand up. And this is what I keep saying. What we need to do is we all need to stand up against this gender ideology. There's a lot of us fighting gender ideology because it's wrong. Okay, and they're losing because it's wrong. They all losing. They're losing women's sports because biologically born men don't belong in female-only sports, and that's why they're losing women's sports. They'll lose everything else. There's too many people fighting now to stop this, and these people are doing the right thing. They're doing the wrong thing. Okay, by trying to take over women's sports. putting, gender ideology in school, indoctrinating our children. It's wrong. It needs to be stopped, and we will stop it eventually. And I think we're in the midst of a medical scandal. I'm going to go into that. I don't know whether I'll get time, but I wanted to go into there's something else that's come up actually, before we go into the medical scandal that's happening with our children. It's what I said is why are parents being blocked from viewing a school sex from viewing school sex education material? Apparently, this sex education material is denying biological sex. There really is only biological sex. This gender ideology is crap. We all know it's crap. It's stupid, and yet this sex education material is that they're giving to children, that they're indoctrinating our children with, is denying biological sex. What the hell is happening to my country? I mean, why are they doing this? It's lies. Biological sex is biological sex. Gender ideology is rubbish. But we are fighting this, and I do encourage more people to fight. If you can't fight, support the people that do. It's like I say, you can get a Gettr account. You don't have to be, do what trans activists do. A lot of them are hiding the faces. Look what they did in Bristol. They're hiding the face. Get on Gettr. You can be anonymous if it's going to affect your job, but get on Gettr and speak out. Get on Twitter and speak out. Please speak out. Don't let um, these OSE providers, provide sex education material which is shit for children, which is crap, which our children shouldn't be seeing. Don't allow this. Please speak out. And then I've got the there's another article again. I'll mention it anyway. It's another government department comes to their senses and drops Stonewall. We all know it's the Department of Work and Pensions. There are going to be many other departments that are going to come forward, and they're going to be dropping Stonewall. So this isn't, this isn't an isolated case. There's been many in the past, and there'll be many coming out now that are saying, we're dropping it. I would say I think that the police force. It's time now the police force came out of it, particularly Bristol, but all police forces. You should really drop Stonewall immediately, because what they're doing is crap, and we're seeing that now. And now the fact is that the female sports, we're winning in female sports. We're getting biology. It shows what trans ideology is right from the start, because trans ideology is like a balloon. Okay, it's once now we've said that once we've said that biologically men, trans women can't be in female sports, they're not women. That's it. So it's all crumbling now, and it will start to crumble more and more and more. The police might not want to get out Stonewall yet for whatever reason that is, but you're going to have to get out at some point, because what Stonewall are teaching you, what Stonewall are teaching, are coming in to all organizations is, as we all know, just utter crap. And it's now proved it. If trans women can't be in female sports, they can't be in a lot of other females, because they're not women, and that's proved it. And that's simple. That's as simple as it is. So that's that. So we're going to go on to the next one. A Scottish government puberty advice leaflet sparks anger after women and girls are raised. Again, what's happening to Scotland is absolutely appalling. Scotland is going in the wrong direction. They really need to get out of Stonewall. They really need to start listening to their own people, because happening is really bad in Scotland for women. It's going to destroy women's rights, and I just have a horrible feeling that Scotland are really going to go the gender ideology way, despite the fact it's proven time and time again with surveys and everything that the Scottish people do not want to go into the gender ideology direction. And then we do get onto the Bristol. The next Gettr is we're getting onto the Bristol now. The news, it's a lot of news that I think I think personally it's truly disgusting that these so-called activists are the creatures now representing the LGBT alphabet soup communities, or they are electing themselves to elect communities that don't want them to. Do you really want somebody in a balaclava, a coward in a balaclava, screaming at women saying you can't have rights? You know what I mean? And we're representing LGBT alphabet soup communities now. No, we don't want you. You are not welcome to represent the LGBT of anybody. You're not welcome to do this. But carry on, because you reckon your reputation. It shows what trans activists are really like, and that's why I've never supported trans activists from day one, and I never will, and I don't encourage anybody else to. My next Gettr, but just before I go on to the next Gettr, I'll just do about the competition. If you want to enter the competition, all you need to do is email your details below, so your name and where to actually send the book to. That email is there. Is that going light, isn't it? I've got 5 to give away. So on Saturday midnight, that's UK time as well, Turf Island time, I'll be putting all the entries into this hat, and then I will be picking 5 out. I will send them via post to anywhere in the world. So no matter where you are, so if you it is in English only. Okay, so it's an English book, but I'll send it to anywhere you want: Africa, Asia, France, Germany, Brazil, anywhere. If you want an English book of Brock Steele, I will send it to you. So I'm going to go on to a next thing on Gettr. It's like I say, if you want to join me on Gettr, you can see all these things that I post on Gettr. As you know, I'm locked out of Twitter at the moment, pending appeal of a tweet, and I have been for 6 months now, which I think is pretty appalling for a social media platform. That's not a professional social media platform. That's a social media platform really that is a disgrace, and it's appalling. But yeah, if you want to get on Gettr, let's bring the public square to Gettr. Do you know what I mean? I'm Alex Bloodfire. Please like me on follow me on Gettr, and you can see all my posts, and I'm not going to get kicked off of there in a hurry. So okie dokie. So we've got the next one, which is the trans rights activist is named on judging panel that will hear the case of a Christian teaching assistant sacked for speaking out against gender identity lessons at primary schools. I think somebody's taking the case up. Actually, I did see something on Sex Matters that are going to look into that, and they may be taking the case up and attempting to do something. I mean, fancy having a trans rights activist that's going to be on this. You know what I mean? I mean, it is a conflict of interest, and this trans rights activist also was the one who led a campaign to get rid of women's toilets. So this is the sort of people that trans activists are. They want to get rid of women's toilets. If you don't want people to get rid of women's toilets, you need to speak out, or you need to support the people who are speaking out, like me. So I stand with Christy Higgs, and I always will. So that's that. And then we've got the Bristol again. Cowardly trans rights activists embarrassingly hide their faces with black masks and attempt to silence women's rights activists in Bristol today. And that was on Sunday. Absolutely appalling what these trans rights activists have done. We've got more and more right. And the next one, we've got more and more detransitioners are speaking out about the dangers of the complications and regrets of changing genders. I was going to go into this. We are in the midst of a medical scandal, which we are trying to bring out. A lot of us activists, GC activists, are trying to bring out exactly what it is. And the detransitioners themselves are telling you, this one in the article in the New York Post is like, I literally lost organs. Why detransition teens regret changing genders. These detransitioners are regretting what they're actually doing. They're regretting changing genders. And I did see somewhere where there was one detransitioner that said that they cannot believe that they were suffering. They were really in a bad way at the time, and they can't believe that the medical profession did what they did to them. and it was a harrowing story of it was a medical really gender change that had gone wrong, you know, and this is what's happening, and what the trans community, the trans activists don't want to tell you is that when you start having plastic surgery to change genders, it doesn't always work, and there's a lot of mistakes being made, and this has been targeted at our children that really don't know better, unfortunately. And you know, we really do need to speak out about this big medical scandal. Um, and I think that is. I'll just read one more out, which was this unfair push from FIFA will harm and even bring an end to female football. FIFA have apparently drawn up new regulations that make it easy for transgender women to compete in female football. That could end you know, female sports. So it's still going on. You know, there's a lot of things that are still going on there. So we do need to fight. We need to fight. So please, you know, join me, you know, on a, I mean, I'm going to be here every week now. My next session is going to be on Saturday. I will have it on my website, alexbloodfire.com. I will be posting every single YouTube videos like this, streams on before they are actually because I know that YouTube doesn't show it, so I will be posting it on my website. So keep in contact with Gettr, because I'll put it on Gettr as well, but I will also be putting it on my official website, which is alexbloodfire.com, and you'll be able to see on little posts. So you log on to it and you'll be able to see the latest of which when's the stream is going to be. They're generally going to be on Wednesday and Saturday, but I'm going to try and introduce more. But I will have Saturday stream up in, you know, before Saturday, so you'll be able to click on that, so you don't need to wait for the reminder on YouTube. And I'm just I'm conscious of the time now, because we've had 1 hour. I can't believe it's gone so quick, and there's so much I haven't said today, so it's unbelievable that. But what I'm going to do is I am going to give you and tell everybody how to enter this competition for the last time. So no matter where in the world, you can enter, wherever you are in the world, you can enter this competition. I'm giving away 5 paperback books of Brock Steele Sphere by me, Alex Bloodfire. Bloodfire, by me, Alex Bloodfire. So they're up for grabs. All you need to do is send me your details in an email. So you need to just give me your name and an address where you want the book sending to. I will put all the entries in this hat, and on Sunday at midnight Turf Island time, that's UK time, I will draw 5 out the hat and send 5 paperback books to the winners. Yeah, and that's it. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and I look forward to receiving all these entries for the books. They are available. Any reviews will be really, really kind, and also any reviews would be absolutely excellent. So thanks, Amy, for watching. You also have a good evening. Take care and speak soon. I will be on Saturday at 7 o'clock, but thank you very much for watching. That's really, really appreciative. Bye.